Welcome to the show called When One Teaches, Two of Us Learn. So, here, as a person belonging to the teaching community, we always believe that it is a continuous learning process. So, I have been in this profession for the last 2 decades, and now, right now, I have moved on from being a lecturer in English to teaching, to being a special educator. So, though I do not work completely in the special category, I work with the regular children in the areas of hyperactivity, learning disability, learning difficulties, and issues which are there, which cater to the regular school of children. Having worked with in this special category, I've come across a lot of issues where I've met parents, and most of them young parents who have issues with disciplining children, you know, and then it's everything related with school. Most of it school. They don't write their notes. Work is incomplete. They do not sit in a place. They do not listen. So there are a lot of categories like that. And parents also being very young do not know how to handle them. So my experience tells me a few things which can actually be corrected before the child reaches the age of 8 or 9. If we pay maximum attention to this during this phase, we can bring down a lot of problems that we face. So let me begin with the problems that I have encountered, and I have tried to bring about a change, working hand in hand with the parent, and it's a team. Again, me, the school, and the parent. So with the child in the middle, the triangle. On one side we have the parent, on the other side the special educator, and on the other side the school with the child in the middle. So here again, I would like to put my first point across is the kind of food that your child eats has a big impression on the child's behavior. The kind of food that goes in. It can be junk food, fried, all our fried junk, that which is tasty to the tongue is not very good for the tummy. And that which is good for the tummy is not tasty. So here again there is a huge problem. So food is one. The second one is sleep. Children do not sleep early. They are on their laptops, iPads, mobiles, playing games. So the fingertips are very active, the mind is very active. It is that passive activeness. They're not running around and sweating, but they're sitting in a place and they're active. The mind is very active. So it refuses to go to sleep beyond a certain period of time. And then another drawback is parents come in late. The father comes in late. So the child waits for the father to come. And then along with the father, the child probably sleeps at 11, 12, sometimes past 12. So this is another dampening issue. The third one is the lack of physical activities. Physical activities, since you are young parents now, you or parents who've got children who are in the primary or in the high school, if you go back to your childhood days, there's more space wherever you are, trees and compound, huge compound walls. And these are the things I don't remember. I think many of you would remember that you never went through in and out through the gate. It was always over the wall. Jumping over the wall, climbing a tree, running around, going here, going there. That physical activity is, is something that we cannot give our children today. And we have created that situation. We want cell phones for our own, communication and for our status, and depending on that, a lot of other categories. We wanted these things, so we have begun using it, and then our children have also got to use it. Food also, I cannot call it a continental drift. The food, every food belongs to that country. Once in a while tasting that kind of a food is fine, but then that food cannot be your staple diet. The staple diet belongs to that particular country, the kind of food, depending upon the tropical condition of the place. So we need to keep this in mind. Now these are the three areas which I just spoke about. You will have to take care of this. I will explain about this later on in my later videos. Now I'm going to come into this area called auditory, visual and kinesthetic areas, where these are the three main does, this is how your child learns. Auditory, listening, visual is through eyes, and kinesthetic is through touch. Now, these are the three. This is how the child first learns. It's not for nothing that everyone calls school the first the home is the first school and the mother is the first teacher, because every child, before going into this place called school, studying, learning begins at home. And the child learns when you speak, the child learns when you show, the child learns when you touch, when you show the child to feel. All these things happen at home. It's only later on that higher education happens in a very different way, in a very formative in a form of a syllabus in this place called school. But otherwise our children learn by seeing, by listening, and through touch. So I'm going to begin my learning where one teaches and two of us learn through games. Our homes, ancient, I wouldn't call it ancient. These are ancient games, but still played in many families. You can get back to your own parents, grandparents, where they use these games to to play regularly at home. Now, this is called an Algulimane in Kannada. It is called here in Karnataka. This is widely played at home. Women and other people, they play this in the villages. Cities, it is a forgotten game. We've got more games on the mobiles than playing it like this. This sounds boring to our children, and the mobile game sounds, with all the sound effects and fine, it sounds very exciting. But this has its own value. Many of us are familiar with this. For those of us who are not familiar, Algulimane in Tamil and in Telugu, I do not know what it is called. If you may please, share the names in the feedback. So this has about 7 pits, you can see, both on either side. It's played by 2 players. Both the players sit on either side, and each of them, it's commonly played with tamarind seeds. You can use small shanku that I have here. Conch, you can use the smaller ones, or this is easier because it's easy to slip. Now, see, this is how it's easy to slip. Now, when we start playing this game, we learn a lot of social skills. The opposite person has to wait till my turn is over. He or she cannot get in between and say, no, I have to play. You have to understand that one person has to win and the other person has to lose. This game teaches you that. Accepting. Yes, losing is okay. I may not win in a big way, but still it's fine. The social skills. Another thing that actually helps, which we all run around for tuitions and classes, is our math classes. Now here, it teaches you calculations without the child knowing that the child is learning arithmetic, maths, learning how to calculate. Now each of these pits have 7 seeds each. Now when I can begin from any side. This is my end and this is my opponent's end. I can begin from any of the pits from my end. So if I begin from the second one over here, now 7, I will slip 1 seed each into each of the pits. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I've ended here. I have to begin again from the pit next to that. So I begin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I continue to play. This is how I begin, and I start playing. I ended here. Now I begin with the next pit over here. Now as I remove the seeds from each of these pits, you can see there are empty pits around. Now from my end, when I start playing, these pits will start gathering seeds in it. When there are 4 seeds on my side, those seeds belong to me, my earned points. It's the points that I have earned. Now I've lifted up from here. Now I continue to drop them here. So I begin the next one. Now you can see, because I began this, This is the first one, and this has three seeds here. Now there are more empty pits coming along. I may be lucky enough to reach, yes, and here. Now can you see there are four here? Now this four belongs to me. I can put it onto my side and then continue with my game. Now here there are four, I've ended here. Now my opponent side also there are four seeds. These four belong to my opponent. Now I begin over here. I can continue playing like this. Now where do I stop? As I play, if I come across a place where I can stop like this, I've ended here. Now this pit is empty. But after the empty pit, there is a pit full of seeds. Now my game has ended here. So I can swipe this and pick up all the seeds that are over here and I can put it onto my side. Now this belongs to me. Now the other person begins to play. You can start from any of the, from here. There are four pits that have some seeds. The other three are empty. You can begin from, my opponent can begin from any of them. Try, be smart enough to do this. But you must remember, as I'm removing these four seeds also that are here in this pit, as I slip the seeds off, the sensory endings of your fingers are active as you're doing this. That's why we use a tamarind seed. It is easy to slip. See, when I do this, it's easy to slip this way. Here, as I'm doing this, initially your child might find it difficult. It's not so easy to slip it off. She or he will take some time. But as a child is doing this, the child is the child's fine motor skills are becoming stronger, very fine motor skills. Okay, so here, and the sensory nerve endings are active, not active the same way when your child scratches on the mobile screens to play those games. It's different. So here it is, this is different. The nerve endings are directly connected to your brain, becomes active. Your child not only picks up, learns the fine motor, his or her fine motor skills not only become stronger, her thinking abilities also become stronger, because somewhere without her knowledge, she or he is calculating, okay, where can I stop, in which way should I get more pawns than the other, how can I play better than the other person, and how many of the seeds that I have in hand. Without my knowledge, I am counting. I am looking down. I say, okay, fine, I have so many. So my eyes are moving in all directions. My attention is improving. My way of understanding the game is improving. My calculations are improving. My skills, my social skills are getting better. And I'm becoming smarter by trying to, without any of those, what do you call that, personality development courses. My personality is also developing over here. I am playing, I would like to win, but I have to wait till my opponent finishes. I have to understand I might lose, my opponent might win. But as I am playing, I am also learning how to calculate. I am using my forefinger and my thumb and my middle finger also sometimes when needed. The nerve endings become active, they directly connected to the brain, they're active. My fine motor skills are becoming strong. All this is happening in this little game called algorithm. And as a parent, you develop a bond with your child, where probably you have not sat down and played this game with the child for a long period of time, because packing and sending the child to school, you running off to office, and the child gets back home with book full of 1, 2, 3s and ABCDs. There's no time, so somehow the homework has to happen. All those kind of thing, and then getting into bed or just waiting, or a lot of other activities. This kind of quiet bonding happens only in games like this. So do play this game. So playing any game is, we learn that skill, we acquire skill to play any game over the period of time. A little patience and a little time, both the learner, the teacher and the taught has to spend some time, and you will master the game in no time. That's one thing. Thank you for listening. I will share another traditional game in my next video, and also I will share how you can teach your child to read in the next video. Do wait for the next video.